Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Alright, we've got more audio. Remember I told you it's a lot. I know other channels are covering it, and I do appreciate you guys stopping by here and checking it out. As always, I do have some commentary. I'm trying to keep it at a minimum, at least to the end of the video, or at least to the end of each interview, but I may break in occasionally. But without further ado, the first one up would be Maddie's grandma, Yolanda, and we saw her initially in the body cam video. I remember the evening that Maddie was reported missing. That was her work office there in Hunters Creek. And then after that, we have some teachers, a school counselor, and her best friend. So let's get right to it.
327, 13, 11 hours, Detective Hunt for OCSO case 24-011313. Can you state your full name?
Yolanda.
And what's your relationship? And so, do you recall the last time you spoke?
That was Sunday. I celebrate her. Yes.
And is that the last time you saw her?
That's
too?
the last time I saw her.
Got it. And so, I won't keep you too long, but it's my understanding that it's not uncommon from school to hear sometimes.
She did it like a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that normally like when she's waiting for pick her up, or?
Yeah. Sometimes to the office and pick her up.
Mm-hmm.
She walks from school to here.
Okay.
She did it like maybe, I don't know, 5-6 times.
Okay. So just a few times she's done
Just a
that.
few times.
So that's why Jennifer would have come here yesterday to see if she had maybe
Yes, maybe she
come
walked
here.
here. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what Jennifer told you yesterday?
No, she's waiting here at school, but she doesn't come out. She's not. I don't think she's here. Maybe she walked to school to the office, and I was like, okay, I'll wait here.
Mm-hmm.
It was 4:30, 4:35, 4:40, and she never showed up.
Okay.
So, and we went together to school, but the office were closed.
Mm-hmm.
It was only the after program they were open.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to verify to the school
Mm-hmm.
and the program. She didn't. While we went to the school, Jennifer called 2 friends that she has,
Mm-hmm.
and they told her that she never made it to school.
Got it.
That's when we find out everything. That she wasn't in school.
Did she tell you who took her to school yesterday?
I know Stefan. Yes.
Okay.
Came here to, I don't even know. I guess for.
Gotcha. Okay. So does he live there with them still, or?
No.
No. Gotcha. He just came. Does he?
I guess he just came to visit.
Got it.
Yeah.
When did?
I'm not sure, but I know he moved back in December to Punta Gorda.
Mm-hmm.
He moved out of the house.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as you know, it's because they.
As far as I know, I don't know.
Got it. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. But he came back this weekend, maybe
came
for
back
her.
just- I guess-
It, I guess, is it common of Stefan?
I guess sometimes he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. And did he say where he dropped her off at all?
He said he dropped her off in the corner of Urbana. There is a building there. It's called Urbana.
Urbana?
Urbana.
Urbana.
Urbana. It's town loop, and I don't even know the name of the street.
Okay. By
I
Urbana.
was right in the corner.
Got it. So he dropped her off there, and then did he say what happened after?
He said that he just walked, like going to school,
Mm.
and then she stopped for a few seconds. I guess she was looking for her phone.
Yeah.
And then he just kept going.
Okay. Run away before, or ever wanted to go somewhere else or hang out with her friends without permission or anything?
Not that I know.
Okay. Is there anywhere you know of that she likes to hang out or go to clear her head if she's ever upset, or a place that she likes to go?
One day she was upset. I guess she had a fight. And she called me crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm walking around the neighborhood. I was like, why are you doing that? She's like, I don't want to be in my house right now because I am mad. I'm like, you know what? Go back to the house. Don't walk alone in the street. And she said, okay. So she went back. That's the only thing I knew it happens. That was, I think, like a year ago. That happened like a year ago.
Okay.
And then after that, I don't know.
Got it. Okay. Do you have any concerns with, I just ask this because I have to, do you have any concerns about either Jennifer or Stefan with ever raised alarm with you that you can remember?
I never liked him. Don't ask me why, because I don't even know myself. It's because I guess he doesn't work, he doesn't do anything. I mean, he's just there because he suffers from a lot of things.
Okay.
And I mean, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't work, he doesn't help you. It's something that, it's not my life, but I just ask her, That
Okay.
was her answer.
Got it. So typically, does he text you or anything from the phone?
No,
Not much?
not much.
Do you remember the last time you spoke with her before Sunday?
Well, I spoke to her Friday, because she slept over at my house.
Okay.
And then Saturday, I came here to work. And after here, I was going to the party.
Gotcha.
And I told my husband to was going to take her. And she started crying. She said no, she doesn't want to go. So she didn't go at all. So my ex-husband went to pick her up.
Okay.
And they spend the day together.
Do you
Saturday.
ever pick her up from school, or does your ex-husband ever pick her up from school?
Yeah. I don't know about my ex-husband, but when I have to, I'll go and pick her up. If not, Leticia.
And when you pick her up, where do you pick her up
Just
from?
from the school.
From the school.
Yeah.
Have you ever picked her up from like anywhere else far from the school?
Church.
Church?
Because, like from the church.
Is that somewhere that she hangs out, or other kids hang out? Or?
No. There's a lot of kids there at that time.
Oh, they kind of go there?
Yeah, a lot of kids go there. The parents will pick them up from the church.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. Okay. What's a good phone number for you? Have your ID so I can get your name down?
I have it in my
Oh, that's fine. How do you spell your name?
Yolanda.
And your last name?
Zambrano. Z as in zebra.
Mhm.
AMBRANO.
And what's your birthday?
9/29/67.
And you do have a Florida ID. I can
Yes.
look up with that. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Okay. Well, is there anything else important that you think I should know?
Yeah. My brother-in-law, he woke up this morning.
Mhm.
He went to look at the trail,
Mhm.
and he was walking, and he passed by 417 under,
Mhm.
and he found the wallet. I have it.
When you say the trail, what trail?
It's like in the back of the school, there is a trail.
Oh, there's a trail behind the
Yes,
school.
Behind the school, yeah.
Okay, and you found a wallet. Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
And
I'll
if
take
you want to come in and
Yeah.
take a look what he found, and
Uh-huh.
he just gave it to me, and I
1319.
found 20.
Today's date is February 29th, 2024. The time is 13:18 hours. This is Detective Hunt for OCSO case 24-01131. What's your role here? Yeah. And how long have you worked here?
This is my 10th year.
Wow. Okay. And you were teaching this whole year?
Yes.
And you've been employed here this whole year?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with a 7th grade student that goes here by the name of...
My students.
And you teach her... What period do you have her?
She was in my 3rd period, and then in January she was moved to my 6th period.
Okay. And are you familiar with why I'm out here to talk to you at all?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to see if maybe you had an idea. Well, I just have a very specific few questions regarding. Can you maybe tell me, I guess, tell me a little bit about her, what she like?
She's very quiet, reserved. She looks sad quite often.
Okay.
Had even on the day on your assignment, like to redirect her within a very short amount of time, she's lost focus again. She'll have her head down. She's often in the clinic, whether she was in my 3rd period or currently in my 6th period. She's oftentimes in the clinic.
Okay. And what's that for, usually?
Either she's not feeling well or she has anxiety.
Okay. When you say she's not feeling well, what does that mean? Did she tell you ever?
She's like, I'm not feeling good. Can I go to the nurse?
Did she describe it at all? Like, my stomach's hurting, my head's hurting, I'm feeling sad, anxious?
I just know that she has anxiety.
Okay.
So I just allow her to go to the nurse and see the nurse.
And is that common in other periods too that you know of? I don't know if y'all ever talk about it.
I don't know about the other periods, but it stayed about the same as far as 3rd period versus 6th period.
Okay. Is she ever absent from school?
She is. Without looking at my attendance sheets, I can't tell you how frequent it is.
Would you describe her just off the top of your head as like frequently absent, or is it just not frequent enough for you to notice and call it something?
Because she's in the clinic so much and she goes home, she's missing my class a lot.
Got it. Okay.
So whether she's gone home or she's still in the clinic, she does miss my class a lot.
Okay. So you said normally she's very quiet and reserved. How long have you known her for?
For the school year.
This is the first year you've taught her here?
Yes.
Is she a new student here?
I am unsure.
Okay. Have you noticed any recent changes in her behavior?
I have.
Okay. How so?
On January 22nd, with her being moved, and the only reason why I know this is because I was looking at my talking points. And on January 22nd, I met her through talking points and said that, explained to her that she had been moved to my 6th period and that I'm noticing she's more tired, more like withdrawn in my 6th period class. Like she's lost more focus than usual. And I just forgot. You're just seeing her in her natural state. I forgot to give her medicine.
So she got moved into your 6th period class?
Correct.
Where was she moved from?
So she was in so there was a problem with chorus.
Oh, okay.
And so the only other period that particular chorus that she was in was 3rd period, so they swapped 3rd and 6th. So she's now in chorus 3rd period and me 6th period, and it was different.
So she was just moved for timing reasons, for scheduling reasons.
Right.
Gotcha, but there was nothing happening in chorus that you know of?
I just know that there was an issue with something happening in chorus with students.
Gotcha. So there's some sort of issue in chorus. Correct. So they switched her around so she'd be in your 6th period.
Correct.
Got it. And I guess there's different students in that other period of chorus?
Correct.
Gotcha. Sorry, gotta make sure I write.
You're fine.
And so you noticed that her behavior was a lot different from 3rd to 6th period. So she was more withdrawn, more tired. That's just how she more often is. Like that's her natural kind of.
So that particular day when I messaged her, she's like, that's something to the effect of, that's her, you're seeing her in her natural state. I forgot to give her ADHD meds or something like that.
Gotcha. That particular day.
Yeah. But it didn't seem to improve
but that's just how she was.
Yeah.
Okay. What about her grades? How have they been?
So all year they've been DF.
Okay.
And in the past, like she wouldn't do all of her assignments, but like every couple of assignments she would do one. But lately, since moving into my 6th period, she hasn't. There might be 1 or 2 assignments that she completed since moving into my 6th period till now.
Okay. Have you talked to her about it, or?
I do. I meet with her weekly. Like, hey, how's your assignments going? She's like, I'm working on them.
Okay.
But that's like the extent of it.
She just says she's working on it. And in your weekly meetings, I mean, has she ever talked about life at home and mentioned being sad or depressed or, okay.
No.
Has she ever shown any signs of being depressed?
I mean, with her just, it's hard to tell because she was always having anxiety. She was always like putting her head down like she wasn't feeling well. So,
gotcha. Has she ever, has she ever expressed anything? I know that you would have reported it, obviously, but has she ever expressed anything about wanting to hurt someone else or hurt herself?
No.
So, as far as, like, her state of mind or her mental state in your class, as far as you know, she's just very quiet, but you wouldn't necessarily describe that as, like, sad or depressed, just withdrawn.
Correct.
That's what it sounds like. I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Like, having a hard time focusing.
Yeah. But she also has ADHD, right? So
She does. She also has an IEP.
Oh, okay. So do you think maybe...
So I always thought that it was part, like, because she struggles with learning.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought, you know, kids that struggle with learning also are a little bit withdrawn and have a hard time focusing.
Yeah. So it's common of kids who struggle, and that might be because they're just not understanding what's... okay.
Correct.
So it doesn't sound like her grades have necessarily declined, but they were never.
It's been worse
above
this
B's or
quarter
F's.
since being moved in January 26th
Gotcha.
period.
Okay. Has there? And you've only known her for this school year, so it's only been what, 6-7 months?
Yeah.
I guess, has there been any, aside from being moved to your 6th period, has there been any other notable shift in behavior that in your experience might indicate something's happening at home, or in your experience that there's something more going on? Okay. So nothing has kind of raised any red flags with you that there might be something happening?
The only difference is from when she was moved to my 6th, I did notice that the behavior changed, and that's why I was
Okay. I get it. Any other interaction or involvement with you specifically, or any other conversations?
We've had other conversations about her not passing my class, and hey, she's missing these assignments.
And what's her? What'd she say to that?
Sometimes she'll respond, and sometimes, okay, I'll work with her on it, but
okay. It sounds like that's kind of I'm working on it kind of thing, but nothing really definitive.
Correct.
Okay. Has she ever disclosed that anything being abused at home in any way, physically, sexually, verbally?
No.
She's never disclosed or shown any signs of that you've been a teacher for 10 years, so I trust that you can see that kind of stuff, or you have your own way of identifying that. But
I've been a teacher for 13.
Oh, so yeah. Even more so.
So no, I haven't noticed that.
Gotcha. So nothing that's raised that red flag to you thus far. And there's also, if I'm understanding you right, nothing that's raised a red flag that she's necessarily sad or depressed, but it seems more like she's withdrawn because of her, possibly because she has trouble learning.
That is how I have process it.
Well, that's what it
or-
appears like to you,
Yeah.
right? It would look different otherwise, I guess. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, we're out here talking to you because we're all working very hard and very concerned, and we're all just looking for some things that might help us. Is there anything, as someone who's known her for several more months than I have, that might help me or help any of us get in her head a little bit and maybe figure something out?
Fortunately, I wish I did. But
That's fine. That's completely fine. I just, always looking for something. But do you have any questions for me? Is there anything I can? Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for talking to me. Can I just have you do one more thing? Raise your right hand. Do you swear that everything you told me is truth?
yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So we got to hear her teacher, and sounds like she got moved around a bit, very withdrawn in class, sleeping all the time. She said it got worse once she was moved from third period to sixth periods. I guess they swapped her class, whichever subject that was, with her chorus class. And she's at the nurse a lot. It's just sad looking back. It's just so much more to it than just that she's got ADHD and, learning issues. It's really sad that's something that was learned too late.
Orange County Sheriff's Office. Ma'am, could you state your first and last name for me, please? And my understanding is we're here today to kind of talk about the situation that's involved. I have a couple of specific questions that I have to ask you. But can you tell me a little bit about what your relationship with her is, just any information that you could give me on that?
So I met her at the beginning of this school year in an ESE meeting. She was being transferred over from 504, that she was under that in sixth grade with our sixth grade counselor, Miss Merritt. Okay. Transferring over at the beginning of this year to the ESE services with our ESE staffing specialist, Miss McGregor. So I was sitting in on that meeting. In that meeting, they approved that switch and she got switched over. I heard a little bit about her background in terms of having ADHD, a lot of problems with focus that affects her schoolwork and grades, and then some mental health concerns in terms of a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. So from there, I have been doing ongoing check-ins with her throughout the school year thus far. I think we've met about, I was looking at it earlier, 6 times.
Okay, since the beginning of the school year?
Correct.
Got it, okay.
When she has come to me, it's often been those feelings of panic. She's come to me in the middle of class or during lunchtime just feeling really panicked, kind of heavy breathing, feeling really overwhelmed. And when we've had our conversations about, well, what's going on, what's making you feel this way, I've gotten responses saying, well, it's my anxiety, sometimes I don't know, I'm just really overstimulated with all the noise in the cafeteria. But I've also gotten responses with, things at home with her. And when I pressed about that, it seemed to be things along the lines of, well, she gets upset that I'm forgetful or that I don't clean my room the way she wants me to. And we talked about what that does to affect her. And she says, yelling, that makes me get overstimulated and then I can't respond to her in a way that she wants me to. So we discussed strategies for kind of calming herself down and talking. She's calm about how that makes her feel. And she reported to me that she did have that conversation for our past check-in since December. So December, January, February, we had a check-in every single month, and each of those check-ins she had said to me, things are better at home and things are a little bit better at school, and I haven't had her come to me in months with any sort of panic or anxiety. I did have her mention on occasion her home situation at that time was when when I asked her about that, the only thing she really said was, I don't really like him. He's kind of weird. So I said, okay, well, what does that mean? How is he weird? Why don't you like him? And her responses were nothing of that level of concern. It was always, well, he eats all of our food and he hangs out in the living room and it makes me uncomfortable because I don't really like him, so I don't want him to be there. But nothing ever to the level of concern that we're seeing now. And the last thing I heard about him was he's moving out. I'm happy about that, and that's helping me feel better with home.
When was that conversation that he was moving out?
That was about a couple of months ago, so I would say around December.
Okay, so sometime in December, you guys had a meeting and she said, okay, got it. Did she ever mention anything to you about having depression or like suicidal thoughts or any suicidal attempts or anything like that?
She never mentioned anything along those lines. It was always more so focused on the anxiety and the panic.
Okay.
And a lot of times she wasn't able to verbally articulate what exactly was making that panic arise beyond feeling overstimulated or just not knowing.
Okay. So she never mentioned to you about wanting to hurt herself, wanting to die, wanting to, nothing like that.
She never mentioned wanting to harm herself or wanting to die. She made comments in the interactions where she was feeling panicky, saying things more so like, you know, this hurts and I don't like this or want to deal with this, but it was never anything like I want to hurt myself or end my life or anything along those lines.
Gotcha. Okay. And she didn't disclose that she was taking medication for anything other than just the anxiety or for the ADHD and the anxiety.
I didn't talk to her specifically about medication, and I can't recall what was said. It would be in the ESE meeting notes if it was discussed that she was or wasn't on medication.
And she has an IEP, you said, correct? So she switched from the 504 to the IEP.
Yes.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. Did she mention anything about just didn't like him because he ate their food and he was in their living room? Like, did she say anything else to you, disclose anything to you?
She did not. She didn't talk about, asked her about those comments of him being weird and uncomfortable. The only things she gave me were, well, I don't know, he's just a little weird. He eats our food and he's always hanging out in the living room and I don't really want to be around him and nothing. And the way she said it was so like joking in terms of like, I don't know, he's weird type situation, like laughing about it. It never made me feel like there was a safety concern.
Okay, so she didn't disclose anything about him ever touching her inappropriately or them having any sort of a sexual relationship or them having any sort of an inappropriate relationship whatsoever.
No,
none of that was ever disclosed or
anything along
brought up
those
to you.
lines.
Okay. Let me check and see. There's, like I said, there's some other questions that I have to ask, and I just want to make sure that I touched on them. Okay, did you ever see, I know we talked about like the anxiety and the panic attacks, and you said she never, you know, mentioned anything about being depressed or being suicidal or anything. Did you ever see her exhibit any of those behaviors, like that she is depressed or that she, like, did you notice anything about her that was out of the ordinary other than the things we've already talked about?
It seemed more so to be very up and down.
Okay.
Like she would have those heightened moments of the panic and the crying and just kind of, she would go from that to just like shutting down after the panic. And then if you talked her through it a little bit, like there's one specific instance in my statement that she could not say what was making her feel that way. And so I asked her to draw it out and she was able to do that.
Okay.
And then she kind of put on there just like a lot of scribbles, which to her, she said that meant just like the chaos of all the feelings and thoughts that she's having that make her feel overwhelmed. And then words she wrote. So things along the lines of like, why, or crying and things like that. And after that happened, I reached out that she wasn't at school for a couple days, so I was like concerned of, okay, we went from this to now being out, what is happening? I reached out, and at that point he's been struggling lately, a lot of tears and feelings, but that she was seeing a weekly therapist.
Okay.
So she supposedly had someone that she was seeing weekly about all of this.
Okay.
And also stated at that point she hadn't been at school because she was sick and she was going to take her to the doctor that day. And she mentioned seeing the drawing that from our conversation, and I, encouraged her to share that with mom, so she did. And, she said that she appreciated that and that helped her in that day, which at the end of that conversation with her, she was able to calm down and feel better. But at that point, that's when it got a little concerning, to the point that I reached out to mom just to say, hey, what's going on? And found out, okay, she at least has supposedly weekly therapy sessions outside of school.
And most of these things you said that would trigger these panic attacks or these anxiety-inducing issues were because of issues that were going on with them, correct? Like where she would argue with.
It seemed to be a combination of bringing that from home, the arguments and the feeling like she's taking on those feelings at home of, I don't feel safe in terms of not necessarily physically safe, but emotionally safe, that at me and causing me to feel overstimulated. And then I come to school and it's loud and there's lots of kids and I'm overstimulated again. And things she said along the lines of, my room's not clean, or you forget to do this, or you don't do that. So to me, that's like things about it was never,
especially at that age, with the teenage age, Okay, so how about her grades or her behavior? Have you noticed any shift in her grades or the behavior that she would normally exhibit?
Grades have seemed stable. We've been working on, in our check-ins, kind of coming up with strategies because of her ADHD and in terms of getting her missing work in to bring up the grades. And she seemed to be making improvements with that since around December, when she started reporting things are better at home, at school. Our last check-in was February 6th, I believe. And at that point, she was very happy that day. I called her down just to do our check-in, and she said things are going really well. She feels really happy. Things are better. Things are better at school. And that was the last time we had a check-in.
And that was because of the strategies that you had kind of given her to help her?
Yes, she had been getting some of that work in. Her teachers are working with her because she has the IEP, and she said that she used the strategies at home to talk about when we're calm, let's talk about what it's like when we're not calm and how that makes us feel.
Gotcha.
And she said she was able to successfully do that.
Good. That's excellent. Okay. I know we talked a lot about, kind of just briefly mentioned with her. And I know you've only known her for a short period of time, but you haven't noticed a dramatic shift from when you first met her to now that's negative. Have you?
Correct. When this first came up, my first thoughts are, oh, things have been better. So I'm like,
so it's surprising to you, it sounds like.
How
did we get to this point?
Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing that would stand out to you that would make you think that something was on, that things were declining at home. You actually thought things were actually getting better at home based on what she was telling you.
From the information that I had from her, without at that point having spoken to friends or anything I had, to me the perception was things are getting better.
And what was the last date that you met with her?
February 6th.
And that was the date that she was like, hey, things are getting better. We're using these strategies at home and all of that. Got it.
We were supposed to have our next session to follow up this week. And obviously I haven't been able to do that.
Is there anything else you can think of that I have not asked you that you want to relate to me while I have you in here?
To me, the only things that are just sticking are the comments of, he is weird and I don't like him. And I wish I had more information to say where that came from, but when I asked that, all I got was, he eats our food, he hangs out in the common areas.
All right. Do you swear and affirm everything you told me is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the time is now 13:15 hours.
That counselor, she only knew her from, the school year. So she met with her kind of monthly. And I really hope that people don't attack her, because like middle school, high school, guidance counselors, they're they're not like experts on a lot of things, and they have a lot of kids to see, and it sounds like she was doing the best that she could. She was asking questions, she was probing, she was also trying to make sure she was there for her, give her, ways to calm down and all that sort of stuff. So I think that it sounds like she did everything that she could from her position. And it sounds like as soon as Stefan went back to Northport, she was feeling better. Her anxiety was going down, and it's, obviously this abuse was affecting her all around, which obviously that's going to happen. This poor child is abused for so many years. How much of that caused, all this disruption in school and her social life and all this other sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's just really too bad that he had to come back. Obviously what ultimately happened, but the fact that he went home to live back with his parents, and she had that period of time from like December till February when he came back. I mean, it sounds like that was some of the best time that she had to be more sane and, with herself. And it's heartbreaking, looking back at it, seeing that, how clear that is.
Today's date is February 27th, 2024. The time is 13:05 hours. It's going to be referenced to Orange County case number 24-011313. I'm Detective Bradshaw with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. We are currently at, what's your first and last name for? Like we discussed briefly before we started this recording, we're here to talk about your friend, okay? And it's extremely important that everything we talk about today is true, and if you don't know something, just tell me I don't know. Don't make anything up, okay? So I have to ask you a couple of questions. It's not to insult your intelligence, it's not to make you feel bad by any means, but because you're under 18, I just have to ask these questions, okay? So tell you that the pants I'm wearing are white. Would that be the truth, a lie, or something else?
A lie.
Why?
Because it's a lie because the pants aren't white.
Okay, so if I were to tell you that the chair next to you right here is like a green color, would that be a truth, a lie, or something else?
The truth.
Why?
Because it's green.
Okay, so it's important that we are always telling the truth, no matter what. Okay, can you promise that you'll do that? Excellent. All right, so tell me about your relationship with...
Since fourth grade. She came to school in like the middle of the year in fourth grade. She was like the new kid, so like everybody kind of just picked on her and stuff. She was in a different class than me. She got picked on a lot by people like that like nobody really liked and stuff. And then one day I kind of like went up to her and I was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And then we got to know each other. And then she had left in fifth grade. She didn't come to fifth grade. And then in sixth grade, she also joined in the middle of the year. I remember her, and we became friends. And then ever since then, we've just been best friends and known her close with her. She tells me like a lot. Me and like her two like go-to best friends and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, so you've known fourth grade. What grade are you in now?
Seventh.
Seventh. Okay, so about 3-4 years or so. And when you say she tells you a lot of things, what do you mean?
Like she'll tell me like stuff that's going on with her family. Anything really that like kind of like involves her. Like if like to get into a fight, she would go tell me about it on call and stuff. She had never told me about anything about her running away other than her saying if she were to run away, she'd go into the woods and find a place and stay there.
Okay. So you're close with her. What would she tell you about like her relationship with her?
We wouldn't get along that well, she said. Every day in PE, she'd kind of just be like, "Oh, fight or something. Like we're not on like great terms or something." I had said that
was going to disown her when she turned 18 or 19, like kick her out of the house. About that, she would like get mad at her on call and stuff.
What do you mean get mad at her on call? What do you mean?
Like she'd tell her to like clean her room or something. I'm like doing something right now, I can't.
So do it right now.
Yeah.
And what was to that?
She'd get mad at her and she'd be like, do it right now, I told you to. Get off the call if you're just gonna act like that, you don't talk about it.
Okay. And when you say the call, are you mean like just like a regular phone call?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys would you FaceTime each other, or was this just like you talking to each other on the phone?
Most of the time it's FaceTime because we're like playing on Roblox or something.
Gotcha. Okay. How often do you?
Like every single day. She texts me every morning I wake up, and I always get a text from her, unless she. But usually, I thought it was fishy yesterday when she didn't text me at all, because usually, even if she doesn't go to school that day, she texts me like the night or the day of, like she'll wake up early just to like text me like, hey, I'm not going to school. And she didn't yesterday, but I didn't think anything of it because I thought she like slept in or something.
Okay. Has she ever mentioned anything about her relationship?
Mentioned really briefly. She was always on a call. Stefan, she was always on a call with him. She loved him. They were really close.
Okay. And you said that she's very close to him? Mm-hmm. Okay, and that she's always on a phone call with him? So, like, what do you mean when you say that she's always on the phone with him? Like
they're always talking, like they're always texting, or they're on a call with each other. Like, one time I called her and she was like, hey, I'm gonna call you back later, or like, do you want to join? I was like, I can join, I don't care, your choice. If you guys want to one time, you can. And then she added me to the call, and like, he was helping her with her homework and stuff.
Okay, so was she typically at home when she was talking to him, or
yes.
Would she talk to him while she was here at school?
No, she talked to him at home.
Does he not live in the home?
No, but he visits a lot. He recently moved out.
Why did he move out?
I have no clue.
She didn't tell you anything that happened. Do you know when he moved out of the house?
I don't know the exact date.
Okay, and she didn't tell you why. Did she ever tell you about?
I knew they were very close. That's pretty much all I really knew.
Close. Okay. So sometime recently he moved out and in contact with him on the phone. How often would you say that she talks to him?
Like 3 times or like 2 times a week.
Okay.
And then like she'll go text him.
She'll text him? Mm-hmm. How often does she text him usually? Do you know?
I have no clue.
Okay. And when she's calling him, is it usually in the afternoon, the morning, evening, something else?
Like somewhere between like the afternoon and night.
Okay. Did she say what they would talk about?
No.
Okay. What was your vibe on their relationship? Like, what did you think about it?
I liked how they were very close. Like, he was always interested in like everything that was going on. Like, she'd tell him like stuff that's going on at school. I don't know, she like briefly talked to him on the phone with like me on the phone too, like that I knew of. I don't really know what they would like say and stuff. All I knew is that like she would tell him what went on at school.
Okay. Did she ever disclose to you that he said or did anything that she felt that was inappropriate?
No.
No? Did you ever witness anything that you felt that was inappropriate?
No.
That he said or did or anything like that? Okay. Have you ever been at the house when he's been there?
One time.
Okay. Tell me about that interaction.
They picked me up from my house. I don't remember if it was like a weekend or a weekday.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him, and then he went upstairs. Like when I like came, he was like, "Hey," he said, "Nice to meet you." And then he went upstairs because he just like came down for like water and then went back upstairs.
Gotcha. Okay. How old is he?
I have no clue.
Okay. Who normally brings? Has he ever brought her to school that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Do you have a reason why he would have brought her to school? But you don't know of a time that he's ever brought her to school? Shift work.
She's a sub here, and then I don't know if she still is. And then she also works at Disney.
Oh, okay. So now that he is no longer in the home, who else lives in the house?
A couple roommates and then her mom and her.
The roommates. Who are those people?
I have no clue.
Have you ever met them before?
I met one of them, but I don't really know them.
Are they like a couple? Like,
No.
are they like males, females?
There's like one kid that I think is like in 6th grade or 5th grade. I don't know. There's one little kid there, and then I think the rest are all girls. I think Stephen was the only boy.
Okay, so is it like another family that's living in there with them?
I think it's just people that's close to them that can't find a home or don't have enough money for a home. They keep.
Oh, they kind of all stay together.
Yeah.
I'm understanding. I got you. Okay, cool. So, when was the last time that you texted you, either one?
Last I was at her on Sunday, this previous Sunday.
So that would have been 2 days ago, so the 25th?
Yes.
Okay. And then, so you physically went to the party?
Yes.
Okay. What time did you leave the house?
Like around 7
p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. And then did you talk?
No.
Did she text you at all after that?
We went to the park, and I know she had brought her phone when I was still at her birthday party, so I texted her like, "Hey, did you bring her phone?" She never answered. And then when I got home, she saw the text, and she was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Oh, we were at the park. I didn't know if you brought your phone." She was like, "Oh."
Okay. So then you said she normally will text you in the mornings when she gets up.
Yeah, she'll text me good morning, and then she'll send me like a whole bunch of Instagram reels or YouTube reels.
Gotcha.
Or YouTube shorts.
What did she text you yesterday morning at all?
No.
Did she call you at all?
No.
Did she send you any Instagram reels, anything else that you were talking about?
No, which is what I thought was fishy.
Okay. Did you ever try to call her or text her or anything?
Yes, I called her.
And no answer?
No answer.
Okay. And that's completely out of the ordinary for her.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you come to school.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened?
I got to school, and me and our friend group were kind of just like hanging around, like kind of by the entrances, waiting for her to get to school because she's a walker. So we kind of just like waited near the entrance for her to come in. We were already on campus. We were already like in like the gates and stuff. We were kind of just like waiting for her to get there, and then when she didn't show up, we were like, okay. Sometimes she'll like wake up a little late, and then she'll come during first period. And she didn't, so I was like, okay, she might be like sick or something. Everybody kept coming up to me and was like, where is she? Where is she? Is she okay? And stuff. I was like, I don't know, like, she's probably just sick or something. And that's what I kind of told everybody, that she was like sick or that she kind of like slept late and want to go to school.
Right.
So.
Does she miss school often?
No.
Is she sick frequently?
Yes, but she still comes to school.
Okay. Is it just like, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. She was coughing a lot. Like, she's been coughing a lot. And then when we were running around, she was coughing a lot and stuff. So I think she was sick then.
Okay. But she didn't mention to you anything about not coming to school yesterday?
No.
Okay. Has she ever mentioned anything to you about wanting to run away?
Other than the woods.
Okay. And tell me about that.
We were at Recharge. We were walking around the bus loop, and she was like, she was talking about a gator, and then she was like, it'd be like so cool to do. And I was like, what? She was like, if we like ran into the woods, like, you know that trail behind school? I was like, yeah. And she was like, it'd be so cool to like go there and just like build a little house. And I was like, the woods, like with like animals and stuff. And I was like, where are you gonna get this like wood and stuff to build this house? And she was like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. And I thought she was joking and stuff because she kind of like smiled when she did it. So I thought she was joking, but I didn't take her seriously. And then when I found out she was missing, that popped into my mind, and I told my dad, and he was like, and I will go out looking for her. So my dad didn't come home till late last night trying to find her because he was in the woods. He went to every single park. He went to the park we went to. everywhere he could look.
Your dad went out to the woods last night?
Yeah. He didn't find her.
Okay. So, has she ever mentioned to you about, like, I know you were saying that she was just joking, oh, it'd be cool to run into the woods and build a house, but did she ever say, like, I really want to run away or anything like that?
No.
Nothing to that context?
Nope.
Did she ever talk about how she didn't want to be at home anymore? She didn't want to live at home anymore?
She would kind of talk about getting a house or like getting an apartment. She's older though.
Okay. And I know you'd mentioned something about that she was going to kick her out or disown her. Why would she say that?
Because they were fighting a lot, I guess. I don't know.
Do you know what they were fighting about? Okay.
Probably something like stupid, like, hey, go clean your room. She just like didn't want to do it.
Gotcha. So, your knowledge, ever tried or threatened to harm herself in any way?
No.
Okay. Does she ever talk about people harming themselves or anything like that?
Nope.
Access to any weapons at home?
No, I don't think she does.
Okay. Has she shown like a fascination with like suicide or harming herself or anyone harming themselves?
Not that I know of.
Okay. What do you think happened?
I think that she does have a lot of social media. I think that she was waiting to turn 13 because she had told like when I turn 13, once I turn 13, I'm gonna leave this house and never come back.
Why 13?
Because I think because she would always brag because I said that I can't wait till my birthday, and she was like, "Are you having a birthday party?" I said no, and she was like, "Oh, I get a whole bunch of money, like $500 something on my birthday. You know, like that's like so much money." And I was like, "Yeah, like I get money, but like not like that. And I don't really like having birthday parties because the last birthday party I had was so much drama." So then she was like, "Oh, okay." She would always talk about getting money for her birthday, and then when I showed up to her and I didn't give her money, and I already had given her a gift. I brought it to school. She kind of got mad that I didn't give her any money or anything. I was like, I spent money on this. I didn't physically give you any money though. And then when we also got there, I was like, how many presents did you get? And then she was like, I barely got any money yet. Like, I'm kind of mad because like I want more money. And then I was like, oh, why? And she was like, well, it's probably another. Like, I don't know. I think she was waiting to turn 13, waiting for me. That way she could get a whole bunch of money and go.
But where would she go?
I have no clue. She talks to her sister. Her dad is in Washington, D.C., and I think her sister is too. Her and her sister are close. I went over to their house. Like, I went over to the mom. No,
Her biological sister?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
I went over to her grandparents' house, and she was on a call with her sister. They seemed close. They always play Minecraft together and stuff.
How old's her sister?
And I think, like, the last time I think she mentioned her, I thought, like, 15 or 16.
She's just a couple years older.
Yeah.
Got it, okay. So she said she was upset because she didn't get a lot of money. She wanted more money. Okay. But she didn't mention what she was going to do with that money other than just, hey, possibly buy more presents.
Yeah.
Okay. Does she talk to a lot of random people on social media?
On Roblox, yes. She would go in, like, role-play games, and she'd role-play with them and talk to them online.
Okay.
I had a Roblox account. I showed Miss McConnell. She had not texted anybody. She has 51 friends on it, but it didn't say anyone has texted her in, like, a while. And most of them were, like, just people that she had friended, or people that had friended her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it could have been, like, a game or something. They joined the game, and they talked on the game about, like, where to meet up.
Has she ever met random strangers like that? Like, outside of the house that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Okay, she's never told you about any of that. Has she ever told you about any inappropriate conversations that she's had with older men or older women on any of these social media accounts?
No.
Has she ever told you about maybe sending any inappropriate pictures or somebody sending inappropriate pictures or items to her on any of these accounts at all? Nothing? Okay. So I know you said she has Roblox. Do you know what are her account like names on those, like her handles on those? Do you know what they are? Top of your, like her username or whatever you guys call those? And that's Roblox? Okay, so that's her Roblox username.
Yes.
Okay. And you said she has Instagram. I heard you say that.
I have no clue what her Instagram is.
You don't follow her on Instagram?
I don't have Instagram. I'm not allowed to have social media for this exact reason.
So she does have an Instagram.
Yeah.
You just don't know what it is.
I have no clue.
What else does she have?
YouTube Shorts.
What does she do on there?
She dances and stuff, and then she like covers her face. She doesn't do a very good job of it. She goes like up and down, like there's this dance that you do. But in some of them, like I'll go on her YouTube Shorts account and she'll forget to like put the emojis on her face, and I had texted her like a few times, like, hey, I just went on your thing because I get notifications if she does it. And I was like, hey, you forgot to cover your face in this one. And then she was like, oh yeah, I forgot. She was planning on doing it at 200 subs, showing her face.
Why?
Because I think she got tired of like, because everybody kept, I think some people kept commenting like, oh, show your face or something. I don't know.
Okay. So Roblox, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. Anything else?
No.
Okay. When you guys would text each other, did you guys use an app to text each other, or was it just your regular phone?
Messages.
Like iMessages?
Yeah.
So like just the normal text messages through the iPhone?
Yes.
You guys didn't use like WhatsApp or any of these other accounts? Do you know she had a WhatsApp? Or any other accounts that she could have had? Okay. Does she have a boyfriend?
She has a crush.
On who?
Someone in school.
What's his name?
I don't know what his last name is.
Okay. Do you have any classes with him?
Second period PE.
Okay. And he's in your second period PE?
Yes.
Is he here today?
Yes.
Does he like her back?
I don't think so.
Do they like hang out and talk and stuff?
They have each other's phone number, but he never answers her. She always texts him, but he never answers.
Okay, so they don't hang out at school or anything like that. Gotcha. Okay. So she didn't tell you about wanting to skip school or anything yesterday? Has she ever skipped school? Has she ever told you that, hey, we should skip school together, or we should go do this, or we should go do that? No? Do you know if she takes any illegal drugs or uses alcohol or anything like that?
She has medicine.
For what?
She has ADHD.
Okay.
She party on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
She kind of had an episode. Like, she was on me for everything that I did, and she never acted like that. Like, if I would, like, do something, she'd get upset about it, or she'd get mad, or something like that. She has mood swings a lot. Like, she'll just, like, move from, like, different moods really easily. I always thought she had bipolar. She never said what type of meds she took. I know she has ADHD meds, and I think they're bipolar meds, too. The last time she took them was Valentine's Day. I picked her up to go to school, and she was running late. So I was like, hurry up. And then she was like, okay. So she gets in the car, and she's like, hey, sorry, I had to take my meds. And I was like, you're good. And then after that, the last 2 weeks, she said she had not taken her meds. And she would go around and tell everybody that she didn't take her meds.
Why did she not want to take her meds?
She said she forgot to, but I don't know.
Okay.
She did say that she kind of liked not being on her meds because she had more energy.
Okay. Does she engage in any kind of like risky kind of behaviors that you would think would be a little bit inappropriate for her age?
No.
Does she hang out with anybody that you would think would be a little bit inappropriate, or somebody that she probably shouldn't be hanging out with? Okay. And she's never mentioned anything to you about hanging out with older men or women outside of school, running away, going anywhere with anyone?
The only thing she talked about was her dad and her sister.
What about?
That they would talk a lot and that they were close.
Okay. But nothing other than that?
Nothing other than that.
Okay. And then her dad and her sister, how often does she talk to them?
Her dad she really talks to. Her sister she talks like 24/7 too.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you can think of that I have not asked you that you want to tell me that you can remember?
Sometimes the YouTube shorts or like the Instagram reels would be about love, but like crushes or like finding like a boyfriend. I thought that she just meant like a crush in her, or something. I don't know.
Do you think she ever had any like feelings?
That I know of.
Okay. It didn't seem like that to you at all? Okay. What about with anybody else? Nothing. Okay. All right. All right. Anything else you can think of that I have not asked you? I know we talked about a lot of things with all of this.
I'm trying to think. When I gave her my present, she kind of got mad and stuff, and she was like, she would take stuff really literally, like all the time, like, she would kind of just take stuff out of hand or something, and then she kind of just take stuff out of context and make it more dramatic than it is.
Okay. Do you think that she acts out for attention sometimes?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So I know I go back to the whole, like, what do you think happened? Do you think that she just ran away? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Because you know her better than any of us do.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why we have to come and talk to you. Like, I don't know her. I've never met her. I know nothing about her. So, based on what you know...
Based on what I know, I think she kind of just wanted to be free and kind of just not live under, like, her...
Was she, like, defiant? Like, didn't like to follow the rules?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it depends if she took her meds. If she doesn't take her meds, then she's, like, really crazy and she doesn't think. She just does stuff.
Like, impulsive?
Yeah.
Okay, when you say she does stuff, what does that mean? Like, what kind of stuff?
Like, no matter what it is, it could be, like, crazy or it could be, like, completely normal. Like, it'll just be, like, whatever, and she'll just do it.
Okay. Did anything happen at her party that you think would have set her off? It was at the house, though? The birthday party?
Yeah, but I don't know where there. It was at the grandparents' house.
Oh, the birthday party was at the grandparents' house.
Yeah, I wasn't at. No.
And she didn't tell you why?
No.
What about?
Nope.
He didn't come either?
Mm-hmm.
So who all was there?
The rest of their family. Their grandma, their grandpa, everyone else.
Okay. Has she been staying at Grandma and Grandpa's house?
Yes.
So she's not staying with
Like, she goes back and forth. Depends on. If her at Disney, she has to be there early so she can take.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you mean. Okay. Where does the grandparents live? Do you know? Is that in Kissimmee? Or is that right around the corner? Oh, that's right around the corner here. Okay. I got you. Okay. Now I'm understanding. Okay.
My dad was like outside in like the woods and stuff, and then a cop was talking to him about, and my dad asked like where like, and like, oh, does like the cop was like, oh, had picked 2 o'clock. Didn't say where. Didn't say like.
Wait, what?
Anything.
Who said that?
The cop said this to my dad.
He told your dad that. Oh, he asked him. Did he?
No, like he like said like my dad asked like where did like just like wondering that way like because she could be around there. That way he can go search, and then the cop was like, oh, fuck, and then drove her home. But then I asked there, or like when was like the last time you saw her? She was like this morning.
Did he say where he picked him up or picked her up?
No.
So the deputy told your dad that picked her up at 2 o'clock and took her home?
Picked her up at 2 o'clock and took her home.
But he didn't say where.
He didn't say where. Because my dad called my mom and then said exactly what the cop said. And my dad had, and then my mom had told me, and my dad came home and told me.
Okay.
But I was confused because that's not. It was like, hey, are you? No. She was like, okay, I'm just wondering because where she is. Did she come to school? Like she didn't come to school at all. And then I was like, she wasn't on lunch. She wasn't anywhere to be found. Everyone thought, like, oh, she was like sick or she didn't come to school. Nothing really thought. Nobody really thought of anything of it. And then she was like, okay, I'm freaking out. If you call your friends and like make sure that she was at school, or that someone, or like make sure someone's seen her. And then I checked with everybody. No one saw her. So I was like, no one saw her.
But she didn't say if she dropped her off at school.
No. She said she dropped her off to church and then left.
You that? I'm just writing this down because I will forget because we've talked about a lot of things. Okay. Told you that she was the one that dropped
Her off.
her off. Okay. Did she say what time?
Like 4:45 last time the last time she was seen.
4:45 in the morning?
Yes.
Why would she drop her off at 4:45 in the morning at a church?
The church is like right next to yours, and then my.
Yeah, but 4:45 is like 4 hours before school starts.
I mean, sorry, 8:45.
Thank you. I'm like, hold on, hold on.
Sorry.
Okay, so she. Okay, told her she at 8:45 at the church.
I think a Honda. I don't know. It looks like a Honda.
Is it like a passenger car, an SUV, a van?
There's a back seat. I don't know.
Like small car, big car?
Small car.
Okay, what color is it?
I can't remember.
And you guys said this over the phone. It wasn't in a text message.
Yes.
What time was that you?
It was sometime after school because I'd gone off the bus and then we had the ice cream truck, so we were like waiting around the neighborhood for it.
You. And asked if.
Yep.
Okay. And then the woods that you say your dad searched, where are those at?
Here.
The ones that are right back out here? Okay. How long was he out there?
I don't know what time he came home or anything. 9 something he came home.
Uh-huh.
I think somewhere around like 8. I told him at like 7, like late 7, and then somewhere around there, he kind of just left. I was like, I'm gonna go find her, or like, I'm gonna go look for her. And then he told me to send him a picture. Send him a picture. Send him like the address of the grandparents' house, and I'm gonna call you to keep your phone on you.
And this is your dad, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And so I kept my phone on me, and he kept like calling and telling me like, ask her or anything, ask her if there's any updates and what she was wearing. She was wearing like a Kelly green RBS hoodie that I gave her.
RBS, what is that?
RBS, it's a company that my dad and my mom work at.
Gotcha, okay.
White Crocs and spandex, like black spandex.
You said white Crocs? And black spandex pants?
Oh, shorts.
I'm assuming you haven't heard today then, right?
No.
Not at all. So you haven't heard from her since Sunday night after her party?
Yes. Which was the last time I saw her was when she had gotten mad at me because I didn't say goodbye to her family. I didn't like go shake everyone's hand and like tell her to say goodbye to everyone.
Okay.
So the last conversation was already.
So you don't know if anybody else had contact with her yesterday after Mom dropped her off at 8:45 at the church?
No. Because instead of going exactly a car line.
Is that normal?
No. I don't think so. You like straight dropped off in the front of the school.
Okay.
Car line.
I know what off. Okay. But yesterday, for some random reason, she wanted to be dropped off at the church?
I don't know if she's ever been dropped off at church before. No, she has told me.
Okay. Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. Anything else you can think of? I know we've talked a lot about a lot of different things here.
Yeah.
Okay. If you think of anything else or anything that you think that is important, make sure that you have your parents call the sheriff's office. Okay. And we'll go from there. We're going to do everything we can to see, to find. That's why we're talking to everybody, because we have to exhaust all of our leads and try to put this whole thing back together to figure out where she was last seen and kind of retrace her steps and all that. Okay. Do you have any questions for me that I can answer for you, or try to at least?
Do you have any possibility of where she might be? Like any thing?
So there's a lot of things we're looking at right now. I am not the lead detective on this case. I'm helping out with somebody else. So I don't know what all he has gathered from talking to her family. There's a lot of things that we have to still look at, right? Like there's a lot of social media. There's just a lot of stuff we have to look at. So our goal is to as quickly as possible, right? In an safe condition. So I don't have those answers specifically, and I'm not going to make something up and tell you if I did. Okay. But that's our goal for now. So there's just so much we have to dig through. There's so many people we got to talk to and all that. So, but any other questions that I could try to answer for you?
Did you talk?
Okay. He got. It's pretty similar. Your name was brought up as like the best friend, so that's why I'm directly asking you specific things. Do you think you have any other information that could be helpful that's different than what you gave me?
Probably, maybe. She didn't tell me about leaving the house and never coming back when she turns 13.
Okay.
Not that I know of anything else that.
Okay. Got it. All right. Do you swear everything you told me is true to the best of your knowledge? Awesome. All right.
The fact that her best friend's father did more to search for Maddie than her own family, well, with an exception to a couple of them there, it's just another blow to how uncaring, just awful people, in my opinion, Jen Soto and Stefan Stearns are. This is why the fact that they're stating that Jen is not going to be charged at this point, that she allegedly didn't commit any crimes, it blows my mind, because we all know that she lied. She was deceptive. I personally believe, and I have to be careful with my wording here. I don't want to put myself in a hole or anything, but I personally believe that she allegedly knew, and I've said this before here, that she knew her daughter was deceased before they called 911. And remember, Jen didn't call 911. She never called 911. Her mother did, and I believe one of the nieces or another member of the family made the other call. Okay, so her lack of emotions was just so, it was very, very telling to me. And the TV interviews that, WFTV did, I mean, that really, to me, their behavior and the way they spoke, both Jen and Stefan, I mean, I knew something was really, really wrong. And I know a lot of others did as well. And hearing now that it's pretty confirmed that she was strangled. Well, remember what Jen said when they asked her how she was feeling. You remember what she said? I feel like I can't breathe. That sentence that came out of her mouth, my jaw dropped open, because I said immediately, her daughter was strangled to death. That just immediately just hit me. And she knew she was deceased. I know some folks think that she was involved in the murder. I don't necessarily believe that. Again, although I'm not against the possibility, I believe she did help cover it up. And I completely believe she was complicit. She didn't do anything to save her daughter, and she knew what Stefan was doing with her. I'm not saying she knew at the beginning, but she knew at some point. And it wasn't like the last few weeks. She knew for some time. And allowing her daughter to sleep with him all these years, I mean, how we can allow that, and how the district attorney's not going to charge that. There's just so many. It's just, again, my mind is so blown. It's just mind-boggling that she could potentially get away with being a horrific mother. And I know it's not a crime to be a horrible mom or a parent, but it is a crime to allow your child to be abused, be a part of their abuse, be negligent, and of course it's a crime to lie to the police. So there's just so many things that could stack up for her, and all we could hope for is that, they're saying that now, but that the future could hold anything. But alright guys, let me know as always what you think in the comments. I think her best friend there is very brave, and I really hope she's doing okay, as well as her other friends. It sounds like she was, she knew her she's in 7th grade. She said she met her when they were in 4th grade. So these two kids were really close. So I hope that, she's getting the help that she needs. And it sounds like her father was already a great father in her life. So, alright guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.